we were able to make friends with Olivia, who is the founder of Liberate, and she is going to take us through a Get Present mental fitness class here in just a second. But before we get started, we want to give a quick shout out to our partners and our brands who have helped make this event and tomorrow's event possible. 305 Fitness, we are going to be working out with them tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Central, and we're so excited about that. Cue the Curves, their founder Charlotte is going to be a part of our panel tomorrow night, and she was also on our podcast episode of We Got Goals today, so take a look out for that and download it. Tiny Space to Breathe, who helped us get the crystals that y'all got in your goodie bag. Inspired Eye Boudoir, Potly, you have a code for a free bottle of their apple cider vinegar, which is like a $30 value, so make sure that you use that. Daily Crunch, their delicious sprouted almond snacks. Renewed, which is superfood mushroom coffee blend that we've all been adding to our coffee all week on A Sweat Life and texting each other about how good it is and how I personally hate how much I love it, because now it means I'm going to be buying it for the rest of my life. Source, which has been giving us these great little daily energy bites. Ronnie, who sent you some samples of their Glow Exfoliator and their really great moisturizer. And then, of course, Poppy Jamie, who is our keynote speaker tomorrow, and she's been sending all of us her upcoming book to read, Happy Not Perfect, so you'll hear more from her tomorrow night. Pack Dash, who helped us pack and send all of the little goodies that you got. And then Project Healthy Minds, and we're so excited to be working with them. All right, so before I hand it over to Olivia, just a reminder about what we're about to do. This is the Get Present mental fitness class with Liberate, and this will help you get in the mental health day mindset. It's going to be about a 60-ish minute class. That will be a guided experience that's going to help you de-stress. And in fact, Olivia's found that a single session of this mental fitness class can lower your stress by 28%, which is very significant. And it'll also help you strengthen your mental muscles. In general, Liberate's classes flow through mindful movement, journaling, conversation, and meditation. And Olivia always encourages us to come as you are. It's not a performance, this is you time, and you don't need any prior experience to show up as yourself. So with that, I am going to hand it off to Olivia to introduce herself and tell us a little bit more about what we're about to be doing.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Happy Almost Mental Health Day, everyone. I'm Olivia. You can call me Liv. I'm the founder of Liberate, which is the first mental fitness studio. So we're really focused on building mental muscles as opposed to physical fitness muscles. We're focused on building muscles like present awareness or courage or gratitude or resilience, and these really important skills that help us feel our best, but often we're not really sure how to cultivate. So today's class is focused all around tuning in to present joy, which is going to set you up beautifully for your day off tomorrow if you are participating in that piece of this mental health day. And like Kristen said, we're going to be flowing through some gentle stretching and light yoga, journaling, holding space for conversation, and meditating. And if any element of this is out of your wheelhouse, you want to sit it out, you want to modify, go right ahead. This is your practice. You have full permission to create your perfect practice out of my leadership. And we'll get started by setting our intentions for this evening and for the rest of the day tomorrow. So if you're comfortable closing your eyes, you can go ahead and do that now. And if you prefer to have your eyes open, just take a soft, gentle downward gaze and start to tune in with your breath. Start to drop into the present moment. Maybe you roll out your shoulders, give your body a little bit of wiggle to release any tension you're carrying in to this session with you. You're probably just coming out of a work day or maybe even taking a break during your work day. So just allow yourself to put that down and be here now. Know that anything else you're thinking about will be available to you on the other side if you still need it, I promise. So just start taking those deep breaths in and out through your nose. And we set our intentions together through an exercise of clearing out what isn't serving us to make room for something we'd like to create together. So as you breathe, just take inventory. Ask yourself how you feel. And take note of anything you're bringing into this session that maybe you'd like to release, like to clear out of your system and put down. And this could be distraction. It could be frustration or overwhelm. Anything at all that speaks to you. Allow yourself to land on one word that represents something you'd like to let go of. And once you've settled in on this word, take a big, deep breath in through your nose and acknowledge that this is a part of you and that is totally okay. And exhale to let it leave your system. Feel this quality exit your mind and body. Say goodbye. You don't need it anymore. You never did. And then come back to your steady breath. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Notice any spaciousness you may feel even after clearing out something that was weighing on you. Any levity that's come up, take note. And begin to think about what you would like to create throughout this session for yourself, maybe for your community.
This is dangerous.
Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Thinking of what you'd like to create. Maybe it's a sense of joy or relaxation or confidence, anything at all that really sticks out to you as something you'd like a little bit more of. Take a deep breath in as you land on this one word and really feel it building inside of you. And use your exhale to share it with the world and create a bit of reality around this cultivation. Continuing to breathe steadily. And know that your breath is your anchor to this moment. Your breath can be your safe space, your home. So if any element of this class or your day tomorrow is new, challenging, expanding for you, just come back to this breath. Use it to open toward newness rather than constricting. Whenever you're ready, you can begin to blink your eyes open. They were closed. And we'll have a chance to share our intentions as a community with each other using the Zoom chat. So if you'd like to share what you're clearing out and calling in with us, please take a second and type it out in the chat. It feels really good to just think it, let alone typing it out. It's like a cathartic release for yourself. So take a second. Oh, Kara from Liberate Communities on it. You're a pro. Thank you for Kara for kicking us off. Clearing out deadline pressure and calling in joy. I totally feel that. Thank you for sharing. Kristen's clearing out worrying about the future, calling in living in the present. So is Jenna. I'm personally clearing out impatience and calling in faith. That's mine for today. Amy's clearing out shame, calling in confidence. I love that. Thank you for sharing, Amy. Alexandria is clearing out desire for more money. I think we could, probably a lot of us can relate to that. Anne is clearing out frustration and calling in confidence. Kat is clearing out worry, calling in peace. Beautiful. Thank you all so much for sharing. Lisa's cleaning out, either way, procrastination and calling in peace. Allie's clearing out fear, calling in peace. All right, we have definitely a theme of wanting some more peace and calm in our lives. I love that. Clearing out judgment and calling in creativity, Yvonne. Thank you. Gina's clearing out worry, calling in connection to what is. That is beautiful and very on theme for getting present. So thank you all for sharing. Definitely keep typing if you're still getting it out of your system. And we'll begin to take our 3 deep breaths to seal in these intentions together. So you can take your arms down by your side, shake them out a little bit. And together we'll inhale the arms up overhead, grabbing a hold of our power up top. And exhale to release any tension out of your system. Inhale, second breath, arms up, grabbing a hold of this present moment. And exhaling any worries, fears, or judgment. Inhale, second breath, third breath. Take this one for you. Grab a hold of whatever it is you need up top. And exhale to let go of any tension that remains. Beautiful. All right, we're going to move into the movement portion of class. So you can go ahead and get your space ready if you're going to be moving with us today. I just pasted the wrong link. What I meant to paste was our playlist for class. So the movement playlist, journaling playlist, and meditation playlist are totally optional. If you know you like to listen along to music for your experiences, or maybe you want to try out these playlists later on throughout your week, you can go ahead and open them up for some fun background music. Totally optional. You get to control the experience on your own device. And whenever you're ready, I will meet you at your space for movements. Could be a yoga mat, a beach towel. You could sit this one out, whatever feels good for you. Just take a second and get yourself situated. Know that there's no rush. There's no need to stress about this transition. Just allow yourself to arrive in a child's pose whenever you get settled. Bringing your hips onto your ankles, your heels, and folding forward. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And if you're settled in your child's pose, you can begin to connect with the earth beneath you, tuning in to the senses that are being activated in this space. Taking a deep breath in, noticing any smells that are around you in your environment. And as you exhale, feel the sensation of the ground beneath you, tuning in with your sense of touch. And again, know that you can modify anything and everything. You can spend the next 10 minutes in a child's pose if you'd like. This is your practice. And you can begin to walk your hands over to the right-hand side, stretching out the left side of your body, still folded over your thighs. Taking deep breaths in and out through your nose. And we move to connect our mind, body, and breath as one, not to perform. Walking your hands back through center and over to the left. Embracing any cracks you feel along the way. Coming back through center. Option to widen your knees to the outside edges of your mat and sink back into your hips. And begin to imagine what it would feel like to move as if you did not have any concept of rushing, as if you had nowhere else to be and not a worry in the world. And with that notion, slowly rise up onto your palms and your knees. And we'll begin by threading the needle. So lifting your left hand up toward the ceiling, look up at your left fingertips. And exhale to thread your left hand under your right, dropping your left shoulder onto the earth, your head onto the earth. And you can stay here or walk your right hand forward. Breathing into the stretch, remembering to use your breath to expand rather than to constrict. And slowly walking your hand back up to hands and knees. We'll switch sides. Now lifting your right arm up toward the sky, looking up at your right fingertips. And then exhale to weave the right arm under the left, head and shoulder to the mat. Deep, full belly breaths. Beautiful. Gently come back to center once more, that tabletop position, our home base. And we'll go through a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhaling to arch your back and look up. And exhale to pull the belly up toward the spine for cat. Inhale, look up and arch. And exhale to round, going through a few rounds like this on your own. Adding in some hip circles down and to the right. And switching sides, making sure you're keeping yourself balanced. Again, moving like there's no rush. You have nowhere else to be. Back to center. Begin to flip your fingertips toward your knees if that feels doable. So fingertips facing your knees, and just take a few shoulder circles here, as big or as small as you can manage. And reverse. Nice. Come back to center, flip your fingertips back outward, tuck your toes, and slowly peel back into a downward facing dog, pedaling out your feet, easing into the pose. One foot at a time. Beautiful. And in this pose, take a breath to tune in with your senses. So as you breathe in, Really tune into your sense of sound. What can you hear in this moment? Being fully present for it. And you can look forward and gently walk in between your hands at the top of your mat. In your forward fold, allowing yourself to sway side to side. Bend your knees to ease into the pose. Placing your right hand in between your legs, bending your right knee and opening up to the left, fingertips up toward the sky. Coming back through center to switch sides, left hand in between your feet, bend your left knee and open up to the right. Nice. Extend back down, grab opposite elbows, hang forward. And begin to shake your head side to side, up and down. Releasing any negative thoughts, any distractions, what you're clearing out, let it go. Imagine it's falling from your mind onto the mat, leaving you for the rest of your day. And then you can ever so slowly peel up vertebrae by vertebrae to a standing mountain pose. We'll just do one sun salutation for a deep stretch here. Inhaling the arms up overhead. And exhale to fold forward down. Inhale, bring your hands up to your shins for a half lift. Look forward. And exhale, step back into a high plank pose. Lowering all the way down to the mat. Hands by your chest, elbows tucked, peel up to a cobra pose. And then roll over your feet to come into downward dog. Connecting with your breath. And tuning in with your sense of taste here to notice any residual flavors in your mouth. Breathing in and allowing yourself to fully arrive. And exhale to drop your knees onto the mat and come back to sit on your heels. Take your right hand down by your right hip and gently stretch your left arm up overhead. Breathing into the shape. And next breath, switch sides. Right arm up over your head. When you're really present for these stretches, you can hear your body working into it, or at least I can. I'm a little rickety, I suppose. Exhale to release. Give your neck a nice little roll here. Shake out your wrists. Release anything in your body that's built up. And you made it through the movement. We'll make our way back to our Zoom seat, as we call it, for the next portion of class, which is journaling. So take a second and get resituated now, feeling a bit more connected, mind and body as one. A lot of the times during the workday, for me, my mind's here, my body's here, and movement helps bring them together. So I hope I could do that for you as well. And now we're ready to journal. So today we're journaling all around presence and finding joy in the present moment. And we really experience the present moment through our 5 senses, which we were alluding to. So those are sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. And a lot of the times we're moving so quickly and we're thinking about so many things that we're not even really aware of the experiences that are activating these senses as they're happening, because our mind is elsewhere. So the goal with this exercise is to help us tap into the fact that there are roses around us. so that we can actually remember to stop and smell them. So you can pick up your journal and make 5 columns on your piece of paper, one for each sense. So again, those are sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. I'll repeat them again too if I went too fast. And the goal with this is to think of as many experiences or things as we can that bring us pleasure or joy or comfort in the 5 senses. Nothing is off limits. There is nothing that is too big or too small. And the goal is to write down as many as you can think of, starting at first with this present moment and then expanding to the recent past, like today or this week, trying not to immediately go to a memory of when you were 6 years old and had a pleasurable experience. Try to keep it as present as possible, and then you can expand as you need to. And this is a perfect time to tune into that journaling playlist if you'd like some background music. So go right ahead and open that up. We'll spend a couple minutes journaling on this together. So I'm just going to repeat that in case anybody is like, wait, what are we doing? 5 columns on your piece of paper, one for sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. And you're writing down as many experiences as you can think of that give you a sense of joy or pleasure or comfort when you're in that moment. And if you're having a hard time thinking of things, you're running out of things to write down, just start by going through your day and asking yourself, what parts of my seemingly mundane routine actually bring me joy? It could be something like the taste of the tea that you brew at night, could be the sight of your house plant, the sound of your loved one laughing, anything at all that comes up. Allow yourself to write that down. Taking another minute here, writing down anything without any judgment, just letting your ideas flow. And start to wrap up anything on your list. Know that you can always continue this exercise on your own too. If you're like, I have so many things to write down, keep going after this. And now, taking a step back, looking at our list in full, we're going to create a perfect day for ourselves. Maybe it's even things that you can do tomorrow using one thing from each column. So there may be some things on your list that you really love, but they might not be part of your perfect day. So if you want to create a day that you can do tomorrow, you can keep that in mind. And otherwise, just try to pick one thing from each column and put it in a beautiful sentence like, tomorrow or my perfect day is when I drink tea in the morning. I use my favorite body wash that I love the smell of. I FaceTime my nephew and get to hear his laugh and see his face. And what did I miss? Smell? So make sure you get all 5 of them when you write your sentence. And you can use whichever items really stick out to you and you would love to have in this present moment or tomorrow. Know that whatever you write down now doesn't have to be your perfect day for the rest of time. It's just what you feel like your perfect day would be now. And that's what you should write down. So I'll give you a minute to do this. If you were able to come up with a perfect day in a matter of seconds, you can always come up with the second one too. And we'll have a chance to reflect a little bit too on this list and what the heck this all means. What are we supposed to do with this information? So if anything felt like brand new information to you, you were maybe surprised that this was an experience that gave you joy or wasn't something you'd ever thought about before, go ahead and write an exclamation point next to that experience or that thing as a way to note to yourself that, this is new. I learned something about myself. I learned about a new source of joy for myself. So write an exclamation point down next to anything that surprised you. And you can also take note of what columns were the longest, what columns were the shortest for you. It can depend on your mood and what's going on for you that day, but it's always really interesting to tap into what senses you're maybe most attuned to in that moment and what senses might need a little bit more love. So whatever column was longest for you, go ahead and draw a star above that. And if you want to throw it in the chat too, what was longest for you, I always love hearing it. And on the flip side, whichever column is shortest for you, draw a heart above that one, indicating it might need a little bit more love. So star above your longest column, heart above your shortest column. And if you want to share what's what in the chat, love to hear it. Alexandria's site was the longest. Yeah, that's a sense we often feel more tuned into just because we live a lot of our life rather with our eyes open. And sometimes if I'm really hungry, I feel really tapped into taste. But if I'm full, I'm not as observant of it. So it can definitely depend on your mood too. Amanda's site was the longest and taste was the shortest. Okay, so you're probably not hungry if it's anything like my experience. Thank you for sharing. Kristen's site is the longest, smell is the shortest. Okay, lots of strong sites. That's good. It's a good sense to be in tune with. Thanks for sharing. As you're reflecting too, also take note of anything on your list that comes up in more than one column. So if there's something that's in your smell column that's also in your sight column, like flowers or your coffee maker, go ahead and give that a circle. Anything that's in more than one column, circle this. It's okay if nothing is, it's okay if everything is, but we want to call out to ourselves that this is probably a pretty significant source of joy for us because it's coming up more than once. So go ahead and give those a circle. Oh, Lisa, sound was the shortest and taste is the longest. I've totally had those days where my taste is really long and I'm starving. Thank you for sharing. And then the very last piece of reflection is to underline anything that you do daily. So if there's any experiences that you've written down that you experience on a daily basis, even if you don't feel fully present for them, go ahead and underline those. Again, totally fine if nothing's underlined or if everything's underlined. There's no right or wrong. But the goal with this exercise is to really help us understand how we can bring more joy into our daily lives. And a lot of the time, the things that are in your columns are pretty simple, maybe moments of your day that could be easily incorporated into daily life if they aren't yet. So maybe now you can pick something on your list that isn't done daily, that you can commit to doing more regularly. It doesn't have to be that you commit to doing it daily if that's not possible, but maybe if you only usually take a bath like once a month, but you really love it and it's a source of joy across the board for you, maybe you can commit to trying to do that once a week instead. Anything at all, just take a second to reflect on something that maybe you could commit to doing more of based on this exercise, or something you're excited to do more of based on this exercise. And then whenever you're ready, drop it in the chat. You can drop your main takeaway from this exercise in the chat, anything that stood out to you or that you learned about yourself or that made you feel good. You can also share what brings you joy and what was a big theme for you across the board. If there was a theme of nature or of loved ones or of funny TV shows, it's always really fun to hear how everybody else is receiving joy, because a lot of the times we'll realize, oh, that actually should be on my list too, and I didn't write it down. So it's a way to build our list together. So drop anything you'd like in the chat, anything at all that you'd like to share. I'm obsessed with the sound of birds. I love hearing birds on walks, in my bed when I wake up in the morning. It's a huge source of joy for me. It makes me feel really connected to nature. So I want to do my best to go for more walks without putting in the headphones or talking on the phone, and just allowing myself to really listen to the sounds of the nature around me. That's my action item. I'd love to hear what you guys are all working on. As you type, I will share the tip and the challenge for this class. So for every class, we offer a tip and a challenge as a way for us to continue this exercise outside of this class. These exercises do not end when this class does. You get to keep working on it and keep building these muscles. So the tip is to build on this list, take a photo of it, favorite it in your phone, and come back to it whenever you're having a more blue day or a low moment, and ask yourself, okay, what can I do right now to pick myself up and help myself feel a little bit better? And you've got a list of, maybe 10 or 20 things that you can pull from to help yourself feel better. And then the challenge is to set an alarm every day for the next 7 days, whatever time makes sense to you. And whenever it goes off, allow yourself to stop whatever it is you're doing and just tune in with your 5 senses. So you can ask yourself, what can I taste? What can I touch? What can I smell? And so on, as a way to help yourself connect to the moment. It's also a great way to combat feelings of anxiety or stress or overwhelm, because the senses do a really great job of forcing your mind into the now and away from any other stressful thoughts about the past or the future. So if you give that a try, definitely let me know how it goes. You can always DM me. My handle's right in my name here. And Kristen shared, what's bringing you joy? Playing tennis. Love playing, but have a hard time finding places, times, and partners. I feel you. If you're in LA, you want to play tennis, let me know. It's hard to find a partner. It's a sport you need one for. Oh my gosh. And Anchiza will play with you. Perfect. You guys better link up. Gina, anyone who knows you, coffee in the morning is a big source of joy. I love that. Thank you all so much for sharing. Continue to build on this list too as you feel inspired. Keep it in your journal and add anything as it comes up. And with that, we'll start to get into the meditation. So if you would like to listen to music throughout meditation, you can turn on that meditation playlist. Again, these are playlists you can use throughout the week too if you're practicing on your own. Go ahead, give yourself a little shake out. If you're brand new to journaling, or even if you're not, maybe that was hard, maybe it was a little challenging. So let all that go, come back into the present moment. Take some deep breaths in and out through your nose. Allow yourself to settle into your body. You can lay down if you know that's a comfortable practice for you, or remain sitting. I like to sit upright on a cushion. It's totally personal preference. And we'll start this meditation with our hands on our heart. We start every meditation at Liberate with a story or a visualization. And for today, you can begin to bring your left hand out in front of you. And looking down at your left hand, begin to think about all that your left hand can do on its own. If you're left-handed, maybe you write stories with your left hand, brush your hair or your teeth with your left hand, or chop vegetables with your left hand. Think of all that your left hand can do on its own. And know that this hand is your mind, capable of so many things on its own. Inhale and bring your hand back to your chest. And on your exhale, extend your right hand out in front of you. Looking at your right hand now, think of all that it can do on its own. You may play sports with your right hand, like tennis. Open doors with your right hand. Or hold your phone and talk to loved ones with your right hand. Think of all that your right hand can do on its own. And imagine that your right hand is your body, capable of so many things. Inhale and bring your right hand back to your chest. And on your exhale, bring both hands out in front of you. Gazing down at both hands. Think of everything you can do with both hands together. You can give someone a hug with both hands. Pick up something really heavy or carry a hot plate. Think of all that both hands can do together. And know that this is your mind and your body, capable of so much more when working as one. And take your hands, place them gently on your heart. Allow your eyes to close if that feels safe. Acknowledging that sometimes all it takes is a simple hand exercise and analogy to remind us of how fully we can live in the present. Allow your hands to drop down to your knees. And take deep breaths in and out through your nose. Know that if your mind wanders, that's normal. Simply acknowledge the wandering thought and come back to your breath. Beginning to tune in with your sense of smell as you take deep breaths in through your nose. And begin to tune in with your sense of sound, allowing any sounds to become part of your experience rather than taking away from it. Tuning in to your sense of taste, noting any flavors in your mouth. Tuning in with touch, maybe rubbing your leggings or the earth beneath you to tap into that sensation. And with your eyes still closed, tuning into the sensation of light. Seeing any shapes or patterns that come through your eyelids. And as you sink a little bit deeper into the ground, connect with all senses through a deep breath. And really feel the weight of the world that is holding you up, not weighing you down. Taking your arms down by your side for our 3 deep breaths to close out our practice and grab a hold of this feeling of joy and peace. Inhaling the arms up overhead. And exhale to press the palms down and away. Inhale, second breath, grabbing a hold of the now. Exhale to release the past or future. Inhale, third and final breath. Grab a hold of whatever you need up top. And exhale to let go of any judgment toward yourself or others. And you can slowly blink your eyes open and come back to the group whenever you're ready. Thank you so much for practicing with me, for kicking off your mental health day as a community. It's always so great to tap into the joy in the present and remember that it always exists. So feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. I'll drop my handle if you have any questions or just want to chat. I'd love to hear from you and hear about what was on your list. And thank you so much to A Sweat Life for having me. So honored to be part of this really important day.
Thank you, Olivia. Thank you so much for leading us through that. That was so relaxing, and it was nice to take time for just ourselves, I'm sure. We will have a special offer from Olivia in Liberate Studio in our thank you email. I believe it was a 2-week free trial. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we have a live classes 5 days a week and a virtual on-demand library too, if you just kind of want to practice on your own. So you can continue these exercises.
Awesome. So that'll be coming in your email after all the events wrap up. And as a reminder, our first event tomorrow is at 7 a.m. Central, and it is with 305 Fit Now. So it'll be a dance workout. And if you know 305 Fitness at all, you know that you are going to have a good time. So we look forward to seeing y'all there. Same deal as today. It'll be cameras off, optional, whatever you want. And we're so excited for tomorrow to happen. So thank you all for coming, and we'll see you soon.